we are taking a look at the classic song 24 Hours Ago from the legendary album by Savatage, Hall of the Mountain King. This was the lead-off track, and it just grabbed you by the yin-yang. It doesn't let go. It's fantastic. Thing to know about this with the tuning is that we're tuned down, just like Savatage, a whole step. So if you want to play along, you have to tune your guitar all the way down a whole step. So we're in D standard for this. The early Savatage records, I think up through Hall of the Mountain King, were in D standard, and then after that they started tuning up to standard and did some drop D stuff as well. But for this, we're in D standard, so it's a pretty low tuning here. At least for me it is. It's not for a lot of the modern guys, but I'll give you a low E string, which is now tuned to D. So this is what your low E should be tuned to. Alright, cool. So before we get going, please check in the description below. I have a free sweet picking guide for you guys called Sweet Picking Boot Camp. It will get your arpeggio chops happening in no time. So check that out. And let's see what else to say about this tune. Key of A has kind of a little bit of that Phrygian half step thing going on, if you know anything about your modes. But let's just dive into it. This is a lot of fun. There's 3 parts to it, really. 3 different rhythms, figures, let's say, to get down. So the first thing is we're just pedaling on the A string. 6 times. Okay, so, and that's the chords are on the D and G strings. This is 8th fret and 10th fret D and G, and then 7th fret and 9th fret. So there's your A power chord. And then the second time we're gonna go same 6 opens, and then sliding from 8 and 10 on the D and G up to 10 to 12 D and G, and then we're gonna play 8 to 10 D and G, and then 7 to 9 D and G again. So that would sound like. So put that together, you get this. Okay, and that's the main opening riff. You'll notice sometimes I add vibrato to this. I think it sounds cool, and I'm pretty sure that's what Criss Oliva did. Like that. So either way, there's your opening riff. One more time. Okay, then we're into just a plain old garden variety A5 power chord. Open A string and the 2nd fret on the D. Hold that, slide, riff. A5. Riff. Okay, so now for this part of the riff, on the low E string, I'm playing the 3rd fret. See, that's 3 times. 1st fret on the low E, and back to the 3rd fret. Add a little vibrato. Slide. And then live, I've heard what they do is kind of do this heavy mute. On the album, I don't think it is. I have to go back and listen. I think it's just something like that, but I think it sounds really cool with the heavy mute. So if you put that together, and that's just a G5, F5, back to G5, B flat 5, which is first fret on the A string, third fret on the D. So that's the notes are okay. So here's that whole second part of the riff. A little slower. Opening riff. Okay, now this is actually a little walk down single line. And Criss was great at this stuff. He might have been playing this here. Whoops. He might have been doing that. But I like playing it here. And you'll see why in a second, because I'm going to lead into the open D string here. Okay, so after we come out of the main riff, I'm playing 5th fret on the D. I'm playing a hammer pull and a slide. So 5, hammer on to 7 on the D, pull off to 5, slide back to 3. Notice the vibrato. And do the same idea, but this time it'll be 3rd fret D, 5th fret D. First, slide back to 1st fret D. Hopefully that makes sense. So coming out of this, okay, now we're going to go to an open D string. Super cool. I love this part. It's 2 open Ds. Then we're going to play an F5, which is 3rd fret D, 5th fret G. Slide up to 6th fret D, 8th fret G. Okay, that's A flat. And then we're going to play 5 and 7 D and G, 6 and 8 D and G, back to 3 and 5 D and G. So that whole thing would be, if I don't mute, it sounds like this. And we're going to end on a C5 power chord. You're going to play this part 4 times, but you're going to mute it, right? So you want it to sound heavy and chunky. The part that really pops out is the 6th and 8th fret. Can you really hear that? There's no mute there. And then you're hearing the C5 power chord there. And and that's right before it's 24 hours ago line, right? So you just hold that, and then it kicks in with, and then you're back into it. That's all the parts. I'm just gonna play through it once now. Hopefully all this makes sense. There's nothing too crazy difficult here. It's a lot of fun. This is one of the great Savatage killer opening tracks for sure. So here we go. That's it. There's a little lead part at the beginning, and actually there's lots of cool little fills that Criss did on the original, which I didn't cover, but the first little couple fills I did. And what it is something like that, and it's just out of the A minor. You think about the riff, it's an A, so it's just playing out of the A minor scale. There might even be a dive bomb or two in there. I didn't go over that too closely, so maybe at some point I'll do all the lead stuff for this track, or some other. Definitely some more lead stuff for Savatage coming down the pike here. I just haven't decided which ones I want to do yet. So that is the full lesson on this riff for 24 hours ago. It's actually about 3 or 4 riffs here. So enjoy this, and would you do me a favor and leave me a comment and let me know what other Savatage riffs you'd like me to cover. Right, I've already done Hall of the Mountain King, and I've done a bunch of Savatage solos, but we haven't gotten really into some of the old school riffs and stuff like that. So definitely let me know what you'd like to see. Make sure and grab that free sweet picking guide down below, Sweet Picking Bootcamp, and I'll see you next time. Rock on.